Let me take you back a little bit. On February 5th, 2020, LEGO Masters US debuted their first episode titled Dream Park Theme Park, which is currently sitting at around 4.7 million viewers. 7 episodes later, and the ratings have dropped significantly, with a very small incline, the lowest of which being recorded in at 2.5 million viewers, almost half of the initial airing. 2 million may sound like a lot, and don't get me wrong, it is. But for a first season to warrant such a decline in viewership already, it is starting to give off cancellation warning signs. There are many ways in which I believe this show could be improved. If they happen to avoid cancellation, these are some things that I would recommend for season 2. In around January of 2019, reports circulated that LEGO Masters was being adapted for American audiences. Saying that I was excited would be an understatement. Having watched episodes of LEGO Masters UK, I was excited to know that American households will get to experience a show that is very relaxed and revolves around something I enjoy. As the hype was building, no pun intended, and people are being casted, like our fellow friend in the community, Iceberg Bricks, and Beyond the Brick contributor, Boone Langston, the anticipation was ramping up for me, and I bet for many others too. Then came the debut episode, and needless to say, I was blown away. The builds from most contestants were amazing, and the atmosphere was lively and energetic. Will Arnett looked promising in the hosting role, and it was overall a fun time. Time passes, and the little issues keep getting bigger, like an open wound unattended. The lazy slap-together drama of the show to build stakes and keep the audience invested felt very cheap and forced, and they often felt the need to reference other Fox properties, such as The Masked Singer.
You can't get this kind of excitement on The Masked Singer.
Guest appearances in the show feel like they hold no real levity, and really only feel like they're waiting for their pitch.
Holy shit, is that
Probably the most depressing one being Phil Lord and Chris Miller, acclaimed directors of 21 Jump Street, and a little movie you might never heard of. It's called The Lego Movie, made over $400 million at the box office. You know, that one. But they just appear one episode, give the most bland and cookie cutter response towards making a movie, and dip with their humongous paycheck. Arnett has quite literally disappointed me with his role on the show. For such a charismatic and funny person like Arnett, he acts as a ball and chain, attached to the show's ankle and weighing it down with these unfunny jokes and bland side comments. It either seems as if he's trying too hard, or his writers just aren't very good at their job. Something else I've noticed was the forced implementation of these quote-unquote master builder tips. They don't occur every episode, and the information they provide is so basic, LEGO fans already know about them, and casual viewers won't put any of these tips to use, making them feel very pointless in the end. Now that that's out of the way, let's move to the second half of this video. If I had a chance to talk with producer Anthony Dominici about ways to improve the show, I would bring up the following. For starters, don't heavily advertise other Fox programs and work them into the script for Arnett to begrudgingly mention during the show's runtime. The Masked Singer already has enough marketing through commercials, and having this quote-unquote interconnected Fox universe is extremely hokey. Like having Will Arnett appear on The Masked Singer to promote LEGO Masters was some of the most painful campaigning I've ever witnessed. Trust me, audiences can tell when they're being marketed to, and you don't want your audience to perceive something as shallow, right? Speaking of Arnett, help him out. If anyone has ever seen the NBC show 30 Rock, you truly know how hilarious Arnett is. The man has superb comedic timing that isn't being utilized here. You know what the difference is between 30 Rock and LEGO Masters? 30 Rock actually had dedicated writers, sought out to make every episode just as funny as the last, and they succeeded doing so. The writing team for LEGO Masters is so by the books, and hilariously unfunny, that it makes a lot of Arnett's parts super hard to watch. And yes, I know, 30 Rock is a way more adult-oriented show, while LEGO Masters tries to appeal to all demographics. But even the LEGO Movie did Arnett more justice than this show's lazy excuse of comedy. Now if you still disagree, let me ask you this. If the comedic performance is truly funny, it will stand out, and you will probably remember certain lines of dialogue based on how much it made you laugh. So, try to remember one joke that Arnett has made so far in the show. You can't? Oh, well that's probably because every joke he spurts out is
not funny.
His banter with the guests comes off as extremely awkward, probably the worst being Terry Crews, where him and Arnett are in a battle of who can make me turn off my TV first. Crews also is a funny guy. I haven't seen much of his early performances, but everything I've seen of him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I've at least chuckled at. That's better than just staring blank at the TV. So that just goes to show you how the writers either need to step up their game or get replaced. Now with the guests. Whose idea was it to bring Terry Crews, Nicole Byers, and Mayim Bialik on the show? Oh, it was Tim? Okay, well Tim, get the fuck out. Why are you guys picking these random celebrities to be featured on the show? It's like if you were scrolling through the Cameo website, instead of hiring them $5 for a birthday message, you just had them on your show for 10 minutes. Phil Lord and Chris Miller was a reasonable choice for the show, because they were actually the directors of the LEGO Movie, something that relates to LEGO, so why not bring out figures of the community? Jang Bricks, or Ganache, M&R Productions, Just Too Good, Kevin Hinkle, how about more famous LEGO designers? Hell, the guy who did the LEGO Club show back in the late 2000s, for anyone who remembers that. And also, have them stay for a longer time. The show refers to guests as guest judges, but they never even stick around for the judging portion. For any food competition show, the guests will always stick around and judge. Here, they say something like, well, this was fun, but I better get going. I laugh every time that they say that, so I guess the show did make me laugh. The drama seems really forced, and it doesn't fit well with the other pieces of this puzzle. And honestly, the building tips wouldn't be so bad if they were implemented more efficiently. The tips they give out are things mock builders discuss here on YouTube. Nothing but love to those guys, by the way. They make some of the best LEGO content here on YouTube. At its core, LEGO Masters is a show which wants to be a relaxed building show down deep. But on the outside, it's a pandering cameo comedy drama mess, where I honestly don't think I can sit through another season. During my research, I watched a lot of interviews with the contestants, and they acted like the show was a fun experience to be on and compete. So that's great. I just wish it was a more fun experience for us watching too.